Dee, you are now being recorded. You have the floor.
Thank you, James. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-bid and technical review meeting for the Chicago Department of Transportation Capital Program for Alleys, Various Locations, Package 5. Contract number is C1626. Today is June 17, 2025, shortly after 11 o'clock a.m. So we're going to get started. First, the agenda today. We'll start with introductions. Then we'll cover procurement details, which I'll cover. Then I'll turn it over to compliance. And Jesse Rodriguez, the Deputy Compliance Officer, will cover that portion of the meeting. Then the technical review portion will be covered by Demille Cox with Connect as the EOR Engineer of Record for CDOT. Then we'll close with a Q&A session. That will be at the end of the meeting. Okay, we'll get started with introductions. We'll start with our PBC team. Again, I am Dee Taylor with PBC Procurement and Compliance. If Ray Gitteroff, our Executive Director, is on, please introduce yourself. If not, then we'll go to James Borkman, our Director of Procurement. James?
Hey, everybody. Nice to see everyone. James Borkman with Procurement. Also have Minnie Keys from Procurement on. Say hi, Minnie.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Okay, I think that's it for our procurement team. Compliance.
Jesse Rodriguez, PBC Compliance.
Okay, and we have our project management staff from PBC on. Please introduce yourselves.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Donna Green, PBC.
I think that's everyone, Dee.
Okay, great. So now we'll turn it over to our CDOT team and partners.
Hi, Matt Crocker, CDOT.
Hi, I'm Demille Cox with Connect. We're under CDOT.
Okay. That's it for our CDOT and team. So our general contractors, please introduce yourself. I think we have a general contractor joining us today, one or two. Please introduce yourselves.
MGM is going to try to general contract this.
And
So that was Mike Barlage. And then we also have David from Capital Cement Companies on. Not sure if he can speak or not, but he is signed in.
Okay. Is that it for our GCs and our subcontractors and suppliers? Okay. Thank you. All right. So we'll get started with our procurement details. For our project overview, we have 7 project locations. We have project number 22912, that's West Cermak Road in Ward 25. Number 22913, West Grand Avenue and West Division Street in Ward 26. Number 22914, West Wellington Avenue in Ward 36. 22915, West Grand Avenue and West Palmer Street in Ward 36. 22916 in West Lemoyne Street, Ward 29. 22917, West Thorndale Avenue, Ward 40. And 22918, West Victoria Street in Ward 48. A general scope of work. The program includes reconstruction of alley sewers, subgrade and pavement utilizing recycled construction materials and methods implemented by the City of Chicago, and full-depth alley pavement reconstruction of City of Chicago alleys. In addition, the work includes proper handling and disposal of on-site material, Portland cement concrete base course, hot mix asphalt surface course, sewer and drainage structures, sewer cleaning and televising, vortex restrictors, concrete curb and gutter, concrete sidewalks and ADA ramps, various depths, concrete driveways, concrete garage aprons, concrete alleys, pre-molded rubber speed bumps, geotechnical fabric, topsoil, and hydraulic seeding. The contractor will be required to prepare a phasing and logistics plan within 30 days of NTP, notice to proceed, for review and approval by both CDOT and PBC prior to the mobilization and commencement of any work. Contractor shall provide critical submittals, including sewer and drainage structures, within 30 days of issuance of the NTP. On-site construction work at each alley location must be completed within 45 calendar days from commencement. For time of completion, we have milestones. We have 2 milestones, as well as substantial completion that I'll cover. Substantial completion must be achieved no later than November 28th, 2025. Scheduled milestones must be completed as follows. The scheduled milestone number 1, which is mobilization. It includes pre-construction, including construction submittals, material and equipment procurement, schedule preparation, mobilization, and utility coordination. This can start no sooner than July 8th, 2025, and must be completed by August 1st, 2025. Substantial completion includes alley reconstruction and associated work. It can start no sooner than August 1st, 2025, and must be completed by November 28th, 2025. Work may commence upon completion and acceptance of milestone 1, though. Schedule for milestone 2 is new landscaping. It must start no sooner than October 1st, 2025, and must be completed by November 28th, 2025. So there are penalties associated with the scheduled milestones and substantial completion. We assess liquidated damages at $1,500 per day for failure to achieve substantial completion. And we assess $500 per day in liquidated damages for failure to achieve scheduled milestone dates that I just covered. The availability of documents for the project. We have a few places that you can access the documents. One is our PBC Current Opportunities page. You see the web address on the screen. Also, our online plan room. Our printer is Cushing and Company. We have the online plan room address on the screen, and as well as the contact name is Diane Nelson, telephone number 312-266-8228, email address dnelson@cushingco.com, and we have the address also listed on the screen. We encourage you to contact the printer directly if you have any problems accessing the documents. I am also available. You can contact me, but it's much quicker if you go directly to the printer so they can walk you through the process. Our project includes a book 1, book 2, book 3, and construction drawings. Book 1 is an introduction. It has the instruction to bidders, general project overview, submission requirements. A few highlights include the bid form, the MBE, WBE, EEO goals, and the community area map. Book 2 includes the standard terms and conditions for the contracts, the T's and C's. Book 3 includes the technical specifications. And again, in addition to the 3 books, we also have construction drawings as part of the project. All of those documents are available at the places that I've just mentioned, as well as with our assist agencies. We partner with several assist agencies who also have the documents that you can access through them. And we also encourage you to work with our assist agencies anyway, because their membership includes both MBEs and WBEs, which are required for the project. The technical review meeting will start shortly today after the procurement portion and the compliance portion of the meeting at approximately 11:30 a.m. today, immediately following those 2 portions. Our regarding site visits, none has been scheduled thus far. Notwithstanding, though, the failure of the bidders to become familiar with the project shall not relieve or alter the bidder's responsibility for completing the work as required by the contract documents. Requests for information, also known as RFIs, are any questions that you have Regarding the project, I am the sole point of contact for those. Again, D. Taylor, contract officer for the project. I can be reached at d.taylor@cityofchicago.org. The deadline for those questions are Wednesday, June 25th, 2025 by 4:00 p.m. And so far, we have not issued any addenda. However, make sure you sign up for PBC alerts. That way you'll be notified immediately of any addenda that we issue regarding the project. For bid due date and time, the bids are due on Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025 at 11:00 a.m. However, this date and time are subject to change via addendum. Again, make sure you sign up for PBC alerts so you'll be notified of any changes. Virtual meeting details. The bid opening will be streamed live and will be recorded and available on our website for viewing on PBC's homepage at www.pbcchicago.com and also on our current opportunities page for this project. And the address is on the screen. The bid submission requirements. The bids are required to be submitted electronically. One email that includes the following 3 documents. One complete copy of the bid document. Original signatures must be in blue ink, or you can have a digital signature. You must include your bid bond with your submission. And the PDF document should be a searchable document and not a scanned copy, with the exception of documents that are only available as a copy, such as licenses. Also, you must include one complete copy of the master bid form document in PDF format and one complete copy of the master bid form document in Excel format. And we include both of those in the document. You must email to 2 places, and that's pbc-procurement@cityofchicago.org and also to me directly, dee.taylor@cityofchicago.org. If for some reason you are not able to submit the bid electronically and you would like to submit a hard copy, you have to request it in writing. You can send it to me at d.taylor@cityofchicago.org. However, James Borkman, our Director of Procurement, will make the decision as to whether or not you'll be allowed to submit a hard copy, okay? Pre-award meeting, the date and time for our pre-award meeting is Thursday, July 3rd, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. It's a virtual meeting, but again, it's subject to change via addendum. The lowest responsive and responsible bidder shall be required to have, at a minimum, the project executive, the project manager, if known, and a cost estimator in attendance. We would like you to invite the principals of all MBE and WBE subcontractors listed on the Schedule D. That is a requirement. You also must provide and be prepared to discuss the schedule of values, if applicable, for the project. And we require you to provide a list of pre-award meeting attendees in advance of the meeting. Our anticipated schedule for the notice of award is July 2025, following the PBC Board of Commissioners meeting. The successful general contractor will be required to provide a compliance certificate of insurance and a payment and performance bond within 7 days of the notice of award issuance. Okay, now I'll cover a couple of highlights for Book 1 and Book 2. In Book 1, we cover the estimated construction budget, which is $4.2 million to $4.3 million. We cover the mandatory project staffing on page 6. The construction budget is on page 4, by the way. The project staffing is on page 6. The scheduling software requirements are also on page 6. Liquidated damages are on pages 6 through 7. And prevailing wage rates are on page 7, as well as on page 54, where we also include a direct link to the Illinois Department of Labor. So you can view those rates there. Joint venture opportunities, we encourage those, and we require that you complete a Schedule B, which is the joint venture affidavit, as you see on the screen. This can be found in Book 1 on page 39. You must include your JV agreement as well as the certification letter for any MBEs, WBEs. The bid form. This is a sample of the bid form for this project. As you can see, each alley is listed here, and each alley has, each location is listed. And here is where your totals from your schedule of prices will come here and be automatically totaled on the screen. Okay. And at the bottom, you see where there's a grand total for the base bid and your grand total for the award criteria figure. All of these will automatically populate from the forms that we'll view now. Okay, so the bid form, as I mentioned, has a separate location for each alley, a separate tab as you see on the screen. You enter your pricing for all 7 alleys individually. There are individual forms for each alley. You must complete all of them. The master bid form will automatically total at the bottom of the form we just viewed. Here is a sample of the bid form, the schedule of prices. As you can see, you enter your unit pricing in the column for each line item, and the sheet will automatically total there at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of the sheet that you can see on the screen. Okay, we also require additional information on the master bid form. We would like you to complete the surety information. We want the name and the address of your surety firm, as well as your firm's name and the date. You must complete those sections on the master bid form. And again, the total from all alleys, as you see, will automatically populate there on the line that says grand total base bid, all alleys, and grand total award criteria figure for all alleys. The award criteria figure formula sheet is here on the screen, as you can see. And this is where you enter the information for your minority journeyman, minority apprentice, and minority laborers. The maximum figure for those is 70%. That is the maximum percentage that you can enter for those 3 lines. Also, you must complete the lines for female journeyman, female apprentice, and female laborer. The maximum for those 3 line items is 15%. That is the maximum percentage. Once you enter those figures, the lines will automatically total and populate at the bottom where it says total award criteria, and that number will populate on the master bid form automatically. And again, at the bottom of that form, you'll see where you must complete the bidder's information, the firm name and date. And we also have notes and instructions at the bottom of the form to assist you. The basis of award can be found in Book 1 on page 10. Award will be made to the responsible bidder submitting the lowest grand total award criteria figure, which we just saw, on line 30 of the bid form, whose corresponding grand total base bid, which can be found on line 29 of the bid form, is within the available funds for each alley and is otherwise responsive to all requirements of the contract documents. Firms are required to fill out the entire bid form in order to be considered responsive. The Commission reserves the right to reject any and all bids wherever such rejection is in the best interest of the Commission. Bids that the PBC considers to be materially unbalanced will be rejected. At this time, we've reached our compliance portion of the meeting, and I'm going to turn it over to Jesse Rodriguez, our Deputy Compliance Officer, to cover the compliance portion of the project.
Thank you, Dee.
Jesse.
The MBE goals for this project are 26% MBE and 6% WBE. We only accept certifications from the City of Chicago and Cook County. The MBE, WBE special conditions can be found in Book 2 under Article 23. Next page, please. The award criteria figure for this project is 70% minority journey worker, 70% minority apprentice, 70% minority labor, 15% female journey worker, 15% female apprentice, and 15% female labor. Also, we do have two PBC requirements, community hiring and a city residency goal. The community hiring goal is 7.5%. At least 7.5% of the total hours worked have to come from the community areas assigned to the project. The city residency goal is 50%. 50% of the total project labor hours are to be performed by the residents of the city of Chicago. Next, please. For your review, this is a community hiring map that identifies the community areas assigned to the project. We use B2G now for compliance monitoring. Established businesses receive 75% credit for their first year, 50% for their second year, and 25% credit for the third year. Manufacturers receive 100% credit, suppliers receive 60% credit, and brokers receive 0 credit. A Schedule D and supporting Schedule Cs must be submitted for your MBWBE plan. A Schedule D is required and must be filled out and signed on page 2. A Schedule C. Schedule Cs are required for all firms listed on your MBWBE plan and must be filled out and signed.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. That concludes our compliance portion of the meeting. Again, just as a reminder, I am the sole point of contact for the project. My name is Dee Taylor. I can be reached at dee.taylor@cityofchicago.org if you have any questions or concerns with this project. Next, we'll start our technical review portion of the meeting. And I am going to turn it over to Demille Cox, again from Connect, and he is the engineer of record, or the EOR, for CDOT. Demille?
Morning. So we have 7 alleys that we're gonna go through. No, it's pretty hard to see, but every red dot is the representative location of where these alleys are located. You can go to the next slide, T.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is Cermak Road, West 23rd Street, South Oakley Ave, and South Bell. Typical, or sorry, but what you'll see for a majority of these alleys is deteriorating pavement. Utility poles will also be located within the right of way. We're not doing anything with those. And then for this specific alley, it's mainly residential use. There's 2 bollards in this photo, hard to see. We will be removing these. And there's a retaining wall that we will not be touching as well, as you can see in the photo to the left. Can you go to the next slide? We are proposing catch basins, manholes, and we are also using extra strength vitrified clay pipe along with ductile iron pipe. We will be tying into South Bell Avenue. So you can see it's from, did I not mention that? Oh yeah, we're connecting a 10 to a 12. So we will need a Y connection here. No alleys on this list will be brick paver, just a heads up. You can go to the next one, D. All right, existing conditions for Division, Grand, Christiana, and Spalding. We'll need some minor coordination closer to Division. There's a building with there's 2 entrances, but they're both on the back end of the alley. There's none on the front side of the street. I put the address, 3307 West Division. This is a mix of residential and commercial use, and this is one of the longer alleys on the list. Next slide. All right. Majority of this alley is sheet flow. We will have some extra strength vitrified clay pipe with some ductile iron pipe as well. We will be connecting to Christiana with 8-inch, and I think it's hard to see here, but it will be Oh, we will be connecting the 8-inch to a manhole. Next slide. Rutherford, Wellington, George, and Normandy. Similar to the other ones, deteriorating pavement. This alley is ponding water. It is noticeable on rain days. We will be reusing the existing 10-inch sewer, primary residential area. And then we're just proposing removing 2 catch basins and 2 manholes and adding some speed humps. Grand, Palmer, Mulligan, and Mobile. This alley is a mix of residential and commercial. Similar to the other ones, there are existing utility poles, on the topic of utility poles, if you do notice any of them deteriorating, like some of these photos were taken about a year or so. So if you do notice any deteriorating poles, please let us and ComEd know as soon as possible. The earlier the better. You may notice some potentially leaning, but from our initial inspection, that was not present. But if you do notice this, if awarded with the contract, please let us know. Next slide. Proposing to use 2 manholes here and then replacing a 10-inch pipe with 10-inch extra strength, or 30 feet of 10-inch extra strength petrified clay pipe. Sewer lining will be needed here, so we will have some coordination with the water department, ideally so they can do it beforehand. Next slide. And then Lemoyne, Hirsch, Austin, and Mason. This alley is pretty straightforward, just deteriorating pavement. Alley is ponding water. Next one. We'll be introducing a manhole catch basin and then about 464 feet of extra strength certified clay pipe. And then we will be making a connection onto Hirsch Street, 8-inch to a 30-inch sewer. Campbell, Ardmore, Thorndale, and Maplewood. Deteriorating pavement along with the other ones. Not much else to speak on here besides the photos you can see. This is the condition of the alley. And we're proposing 12-inch extra strength petrified clay pipe along with connection of an 8-inch to a manhole on West Ardmore Avenue. Victoria, Edgewater, Clark, and Ridge. There is a parking spot not included in our scope of work in this alley. You'll notice it. We will be tying back into it, probably like a 2-foot HMA tie-in, and other than that, still creating pavement with open bottom catch basins. We're going to be reusing the 10-inch sewer and then replacing and adding in a catch basin, removing the open bottom catch basin.
Okay. Thank you, Demille. That concludes the technical review portion of the meeting. And just so everyone knows, we will have this PowerPoint presentation on our website within 24 hours. Okay. We have reached the end of the meeting. This is our Q&A portion of the meeting. Do we have any questions for any of the presenters today?
Right now, Dee, there are no questions in the chat, and I do not see anyone with a raised hand.
Okay, thank you, James. Okay, well, this concludes our meeting, today's meeting, our pre-bid and technical review meeting for a CDOT capital program, alleys, various locations, package 5, contract C 1626. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a
Thank you,
good
Dee.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.